Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning. God woke you and me up today. Good morning. Great morning. Fantastic morning. Before I get into the AA daily reflection reading for today, I can't mix spirituality and religion. So at 6:45, I will be talking about the spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you my testimony through song, right? And so this is dedicated to my mother, Helen Jones Hall Lamar Taylor. And listen to the words. I sung it to her on my TV show, and very powerful words. And even though she's not here in the physical, I know she is proud of me and is listening as I dedicate this song to my mother. I thought you'd like to know, Mother. I thought you'd like to know all those nights you paced the floor, praying I would make it home all right. Believing God that He would someday save my soul. Well, He did. And I thought you'd like to know. I thought you'd like to know all those prayers you prayed for me. Never a one once fell to the ground. I know sometimes it looked like I was a million miles from grace. He answered your prayers. I thought you'd like to know. Mama, I want you to know I love you. Please forgive me for all the times I broke your heart. Every tear you cried for me drew me closer to being free. I want to thank you, and I thought you'd like to know. Thought you'd like to know. I wish I could live my life again. If I could, I would surely make amends. But if I could help my brother a new life to discover, oh, I will. And I thought you'd like to know. Oh, I want you to know I love you. Please forgive me for all the times I broke your heart. Every tear you cried for me drew me closer to being free. I want to thank you. Thought you'd like to know. All right, wait a minute now. I think I got another song. Okay, I got a couple minutes. Let's try this song, okay? I thought it was going to be 5 minutes, but listen, I'm going to get it all in. Here go another song. Oh. did it. He woke me up this morning. God did it. He woke you up this morning. God did it. Everything that happens good to me, God did it. No matter what the discipline was and that was needed, everything that happened to me that was good, God did it. The reason why I'm sitting here this morning before you, because God did it. So, welcome to January the 15th, AA Daily Reflections reading, An Unsuspected Inner Resource, Edwina B's perspective. I do not represent Alcoholics Anonymous. That's been in existence for nearly 90 years, but I've been a proud, humble, and grateful member for over 31 plus years. And if and when God allows me to live through and on this February the 23rd of 2022, we will be celebrating 32 years in recovery. 2 more years more, it will be 34. The time that I was underneath that parked car. So it's almost a complete circle from the time I surrendered to the time I'm in recovery. But guess what? I'm taking it one day at a time. And so as a result, I go to my Alcoholics Anonymous spiritual meeting to get some spiritual principles, to go and learn some spiritual traditions and traditional concepts to apply to this earthly walk here on earth. Donald Lawrence says it so eloquently: you are not a natural being having a spiritual experience. No, you are a spiritual being encased and walking on this earthly journey called life. What a big difference applying spiritual principles to earthly conditions, even COVID-19, where I'm still surviving. But you see, they went down, right? But I'm still quarantined. I'm still being obedient, which is why I listen. I want you to wear a mask, get vaccinated, get your children vaccinated, right? Social distance and all of that. Because somebody did not wake up this morning because of this virus and other things. Someone is dying as we speak. But 2 years ago, I couldn't sit before you and breathe like I'm breathing now, because me and 9 members of my family had COVID and we all survived by the grace of God. So tap into that inner resource and take that mask off. That's why I can sit with you in front of you in the morning with my teeth out, the little thing around my. Listen, I've learned to take all the mask off, the makeup, all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. Because what's inside is the message and not the messenger. Woo! All right, so let me keep it moving. All right, so we are on January the 15th. So I want to give you what the reading is for today so that we can marinate on it, evaluate it, analyze it, because there must be something today that you need to tap into. And it's called that unsuspected inner resource. Isn't that amazing? So being able to even say that, right? To be here to say that there's an unsuspected inner resource. That Spirit of God is within us. That's that inner resource that manifests itself outwardly, right? And so we are going to see what that reading has for today so that we can use it just for today. Okay, so let's go. So I want you to close your eyes, please. Just close your eyes for a second. Let me read it to you, and then you can open your eyes and we can read it together, and then I'm gonna give you my perspective, and then you can come with your perspective. Okay, all right, here we go. All right, January the 15th, right? AA Reflections Daily Reading, an unsuspected inner resource. With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource, which they presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. This is from Alcoholics Anonymous Big Book, page 567 and 68. And this is what the recovering person writes from his perspective. From my first days in AA, as I struggled for sobriety, I found hope in these words from our founders. I often pondered the phrase, they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource. How, I asked myself, can I find the power within myself since I am so powerless? In time, as the founders promised, it came to me. I have always had the choice between goodness and evil, between unselfishness and selfishness, between serenity and fear. That power greater than myself is an original gift that I did not recognize until I achieved daily sobriety through living AA's 12 steps. Open your eyes, Open your eyes. Did you hear the words? Did you internalize what you heard? Did you understand what you heard? So if not, let's do it again and let's do it together, okay? It says here, okay, January the 15th in AA Reflections Daily Reading, an unsuspected inner resource. With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource, which they presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. AA page 567 through 68. From my first days in AA, as I struggled for sobriety, I found hope in these words from our founders. I often pondered the phrase, they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource. How, I asked myself, can I find the power within myself since I was so powerless? In time, as the founders promised, it came to me. I have always had the choice between goodness and evil, between unselfishness and selfishness, between serenity and fear. That power greater than myself is an original gift that I did not recognize until I achieved daily sobriety through living AA's 12 steps. All right, so words mean something. The author of this narrative or his perspective means something. The quote that was extracted from Alcoholics Anonymous page 567 and 568 means something. Just like when you say something, you mean something. You trying to convey to other people. You trying to get them to see, to understand. And recovery, we say we try to understand than to be understood. So we want to understand what this quote is saying and what this perspective is trying to convey to us. And I'm going to give you mine. It says, an unsuspected inner resource. With few exceptions. Did you hear that? With few exceptions, our members find that they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource, which they presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. So let's start with that. With very few exceptions. You know how many alcoholics who are in recovery? Huh? Yeah, I would say in the millions, but you know how many alcoholics are out there? Ooh, it's a whole lot more than a million, right? And so those who are in recovery, it says with few exceptions. Of that, I'll say 1 million people who are an alcoholic in recovery, with few exceptions. That means this thing must be very powerful if it has few exceptions. Our members of Alcoholics Anonymous find that they have tapped, seeking, exploring, discovering. They have they found, members find, they find the light bulb went off, the bell's rung, that aha moment. Find that they have will, they have tapped and unsuspected. They didn't know it was there. They didn't know it was possible. We didn't believe in, I don't know. Yeah. What you talking about? I don't know. It's unsuspected. Our God has reserved a spot, a place in each and every one of his creations, that no matter what life throws at him or her or them, nothing is going to touch that spot that's reserved only for the Creator himself. And that is the inner resource. I found out, didn't know it then, but I sure found it out in these 31 plus years. Ooh, I tapped into an unsuspected inner resource, which we presently identify with their own conception of a power greater than themselves. Now, mind you, I didn't say God, did I? I didn't say God, did I? It says a power greater than ourselves. So let's back it up. Tapped into an unsuspected inner resource. So how did this develop for me? I'm glad you asked. Little by little by little by little, piece by piece by piece by piece, right? From underneath that parked car 31 plus years ago, devastated, humiliated, helpless, hopeless, right? All of that. I cried out from the essence of my soul to a power that I did not know but heard about. Whoever they say you are, take me out this life now or show me a better way. I didn't know who I was talking to. I didn't know who was hearing me, but I know within me that cry came from the essence of my soul. That unsuspected inner resource cried out. God himself cried out to him, right? Yes. A power greater than ourselves, right? And so when I cried out and asked him to take me out this life or show me a better way, he put me on the pathway to recovery. And that inner resource began to be fed with some additional information, with some people who God identified, who God selected to help develop that unsuspected inner resource, known as him. And so that power greater than me came in different forms, different shapes, right? Different ideas. I heard about God, but I heard he was a punishing God. So my conception of God, okay, all right, but my cry was, whoever they say you are, take me out and show me a better way, right? And so when I went to those rehabs, And I shared with you how I went there for the wrong reasons. I went there. No. That's what I said to myself I went there for, right? Come to find out they were not for me. They were for other people. I'm not going to say it's wrong or right, but I went there for other people, and therefore I didn't get what I needed to get. But guess what? Nonetheless, I was there. So whatever gets you into recovery, whatever force you into recovery, it is doing something for you that you could not do for yourself. So in those rehabs and my team of counselors and therapists and even my peers, right? Started feeding me some things I tuned out, some things I didn't want to hear. I kept my hands up. I wasn't letting none of y'all in, right? But that's okay. I was there though. I was there to receive it. But my humanness, my ego, my pride, my selfishness, blocked it. But nevertheless, I was there. So the physical Edwina did not hear it, but the spiritual Edwina, unknowingly to her, the seeds were planted. And they began to help grow that unsuspected inner resource, right? So those people were a power greater than me. There's power in numbers, right? And so I'm just one, but my care team was about 8. And I shared with you how I sat before them and they asked me what happened every time I picked up a drink or a drug, right? That was a power greater than me, those individuals. But what they asked me to share was my truth. The truth of what happens every time I pick up a drink or a drug. And after I shared my pattern, that inner resource, right? Unsuspected inner resource, answered a question that was posed by one of the team members. And they said, Edwina, based on what you just told us, based on what you just said, do you think you are powerless over alcohol and that your life had become unmanageable? I just shared with them what happens to me every time I pick up a drink or a drug, no matter who I was with, no matter where I was, no matter what my intentions were. It was always a pattern. And because I was able to get that unsuspected strength to tell the truth for me and tell it to them, I heard myself tell myself the truth about what happened every time I picked up a drink or a drug. From as far back as I can remember to being underneath that parked car. That's what happened to me. And when I heard myself tell myself the truth, that unsuspected inner resource, right, was motivated, was ignited, was excited, right? Because I heard myself tell myself the truth. So that group was a power greater than me that helped me to tap into that unsuspected inner resource. So a power greater than me, right? So when I think about what it means to have a power greater than me, it's not new to me. Let's talk about what powers are greater than you, what powers are greater than me from the time we can remember. My mother and father were a power greater than me. My siblings together was a power greater than me. The community in which I lived was a power greater than me. I was only one. Yeah. The school system, My classroom, my teachers, my fellow students were powers greater than me. When I went to the hit house, when I went to the speakeasy, when I went to the bar, they were powers greater than me. So tapping into my own conception of a power greater than me did not become difficult. I kept it simple because I compared to the other powers that were greater than me. And so these powers greater than me continue to put me on my pathway and road to recovery. And as that happened, that unsuspected inner resource started to even light up even more, unknowingly to me. Yes. So when I came into recovery, when I surrendered that one and only time, those other times were preparation for me to get that one and only surrender. I came into Alcoholics Anonymous like this. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. Whatever you tell me to go, I'm going to go. How long I have to stay, that's how long I have to stay, right? So let me tell you this, right? So I remember one of those counselors said, Edwina, you need long-term treatment. What you mean long-term? Now, think about the concept of a power greater than me coming through her, right? She said, you've been in rehab before. She said 30 days ain't enough for you. She said 60 days ain't enough for you. She said 90 days is not even enough for you. I was like, okay, well, how much time you think I need? What she just described was short-term microwave recovery. Lighting the oven on warm, right? Using the toaster, right? But not using the oven to its fullest capacity. They said, Edwina, we suggest you take a year. I was like, oh my, a year? Yes. Then she used another power greater than me. She said, how long you been getting high? I said, 14 years. Oh. So is that 14 years of using, drinking, prostituting, all of that? Was that a power greater than you? 14 years? Yes. So you mean to tell me 1 year? 1 year? 1 year? 1 year? To go and get yourself together, to go and be in recovery, to go and be around people who are like you or doing better, even with that small number, it is a power greater than you who are doing the right thing for the right reason. Yes. 1 year. Yes. I remember going home and telling my late husband, my second late husband, the one who married me as a prostitute, right? And he was a John, but he had cancer and he was sick and he was sickly. And I came home and I said, Paul, they want me to go away for a year. He said, Edwina, I'm sick. I mean, come on now. I need you here. And that unsuspected inner resource spoke. And it said, Paul, if I don't get myself together, I'm not going to be able to take care of you anyway. Wow. I said that? Yes. That unsuspected inner resource spoke. And I went. And I remember going up the road to Williamsport with my husband. And I forget the guy's name. He was riding my car behind us, right? And at all the time, I was thinking, I was quiet. I didn't say a whole lot. My husband wasn't saying a whole lot, right? And so in my mind, where am I going? What am I going to do? What is it going to be like? But guess what? Power greater than me came to my mind. Where are you coming from? You know what happened to you. You know you was underneath that parked car. Do you want to go underneath that parked car? Those memories, those circumstances, those experiences is a power greater than you, Edwina. Do you want to go back? Hell no. So you see how your attitudes, ideas, and thoughts, actions, behavior can help become a power greater than you? And so even when we got to Williamsport, I remember, we unloading the car, and I went to a recovery house with 12 other women. My good friend Ethel, I met her, and I met Alethea, and I met so many people, so many women that I did not like. You are placing me in a house with other women who are in recovery. Yes, these women are a power greater than you, Edwina. Yes. Once again, those women helped me to tap into an unsuspected inner resource to let me know that, Edwina, you need these women. And guess what? These women need you too. Because you are all on the road to recovery. You are all been able to tap into this unsuspected inner resource, and you are all trying your best to not to go back. So yes. Okay. And so as a result, that power greater than me began to manifest itself in different ways, shapes, forms, and fashion, to the point now I know what that inner resource is, and it's no longer unsuspected. I know. And so when this gentleman shared, here we go, come on, he says, from my first days in AA, as I struggled for sobriety, I found hope in these words from our founders. He found hope. I found hope when that young lady came to the rehab, and she shared about what she did, how she did it, how she felt. That was a power greater than me coming through her. And I said then, God, keep me sober long enough. I want to be able to share just like her. Yes. An unsuspected inner resource came out of her and into me. That's why I'm so transparent. That's why I don't mind telling the truth. I want to tell the truth. Yes, I want to be transparent. I want to make progress. I know I'll never be perfect. Yes, that's why I can sit before you just the way I am, because my God accepted me just the way I was, and he can accept you too, because that onion is so layered with so much stuff. But in that onion is the inner resource that when we tap into it, yes, those layers begin to peel off. Yes. So he says, I found hope. Okay. Then he says, I often pondered the phrase, they have tapped an unsuspected inner resource. So when we go to meetings, right? Just like we went to the hit house or to the bar, we watch people, how they drank, how they mixed it up, how they did this, right? So we were captivated by that in that world. Now we become captivated in this world of recovery. What did they tap into? How did they get this? It says, in how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Thoroughly followed our path. 31 plus years later, one day at a time, I am thoroughly following the path of these spiritual principles, right? So he says, by hearing them and listening to them, he heard what was available. And he wanted to know how to do that. And he did just like I did, right? And got but a minute or so, okay? So he asked himself, can I find the power within myself since I am so powerless? Yes, that is the key. When you realize you ain't got no power, you ain't got no control, when you realize that you ain't the chips, the dip, or the stick to do it to, as my Pastor Bullock would say, when you see, admit, embrace, accept your powerlessness, you tap into an inner, unsuspected inner resource, because it was waiting for you to acknowledge, admit, embrace your powerlessness, so that unsuspected inner resource can begin to show you its power. Woo! Okay, let's see here. I have always had the choice between goodness and evil, between unselfishness and selfishness, between serenity and fear, right? Fear. That power greater than myself is an original gift that I did not recognize until I achieved daily sobriety through living the AA's 12 spiritual steps. You know right from wrong, even before you start drinking. You know what it was like to be selfish, and you know what it's like to be unselfish. You know what it's like to have peace of mind, and you know what it's like to have a whole lot of fear, right? You know, it ain't nothing new to you, right? But that power greater than ourselves and is an original gift. God gave us all that gift. Oh, God gift to people like me is sobriety. I recognize that he picked me. He chose us. I stepped over dead bodies. I robbed dead bodies. I saw bodies stacked up in the cellar. Yes, he chose me. He gave me the gift of sobriety. So what is our gift to him? And he only asked for two things in closing. Stay sober and help another alcoholic achieve sobriety. And let them see and let them hear that the unsuspected inner resource is within them too. Whew. Okay. We got to go. So I love you. Be safe. Get your mask on. Get vaccinated. Get quarantine like I am. Do the right thing. Yes, I'm doing the right thing, right? But I can't do it by myself, but I'm doing my part. So be safe. I love you all. And everything that is good for me, God did it. Even with the loving discipline and tough love. He did it for me, and he can do it for you. And you too can tap into that unsuspected inner resource. But once you tap into it, boom, an explosion happens. Be safe. Ooh, thank you, Lord.